I do like this hoodie. Like it's very cozy and it's got like the, you know,
Yeah.
it's quite
And
nice.
for a rare occurrence, I'm not wearing a beanie and you are wearing a beanie.
Yes, yes. It's your beanie. It's the
Yeah.
one beanie that we share between us. Simple question. What have you been playing?
Yeah, I just finished Cyberpunk, um, which I played really like strongly, kind of on your recommendation because you were kind of the first person of anyone that I knew that had played it since the 2.0 update or since they kind of fixed it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of excited to give it a go then because I'm a big Witcher fan. I've played all the Witchers. And I think CD Projekt Red are a fantastic studio, so I was excited to give it a go finally after all of the kind of the backlash had died down, and especially with the Phantom Liberty DLC being so well received and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, I my overall impressions of the game were kind of not great at the start. I was saying this to you earlier that I was a little bit slow to get into the game. I wasn't like immediately taken with the world. I
Hmm.
found it very busy. There's the UI is always kind of cluttered, especially when you're like scanning things and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a very menu-based game initially.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And there's just so much happening and they're throwing all these like terms at you and um like I guess I was kind of worried about the direction of the game. I think because I at like the start or the kind of prologue, which I didn't even realize was the prologue the whole way through, was so like based on like scanning things and it was nearly like investigative and kind of felt like kind of like like a Batman game or something where I was like scanning crime
yeah,
scenes and
yeah.
stuff. But then the game really opened up, and I started doing the quests, and I really enjoyed Johnny Silverhand, and I really liked Takamura, and I loved all the side quests.
Hmm.
Um, the Plaid experience, I would say, is not the best because of those
Mixed.
NCPD missions. I
Yeah.
found those were very excessive.
Hmm.
I powered through them pretty quick, in fairness, because
Hmm.
they can you can do them in like 15 seconds each. You just run in and chop
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
up.
Like just charge in and just and like just run out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, and the last kind of critique of the game, I guess, is I wasn't a big fan of the endings. I don't think there was any kind of one ending that felt um I don't know, conclusive. I went with the kind of the Pan Am,
that
the
yeah, like I was saying to you
what's it called?
earlier.
Nomads ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nomad ending. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Panam's ending was mine because she was my girl in the game.
Yeah.
I'm a Pan Am guy. And yeah, very very like bittersweet. But I did really love. It's such a simple thing. I did love that it switched to like a third person perspective, where you see the character like an actual kind of cutscene, and I felt like that was a nice
Sure.
visual way to represent that you're moving away from the player, that it's like it's not your story anymore. I like that. I like that kind of storytelling in games, and I have to say, when you the ending again, if you haven't played Cyberpunk, we are just spilling spoilers here, but it's been quite a while. But I love the ending where you're walking through the alleyway and you've no powers. That was one of the best survival horror moments in games for me in the last 10 years. And I actually, for me, it landed really, really, really well. That sense of like, God, I'm so weak and like, oh God, because you've just been, as I said, you're running and, but when you lose your power, so to speak, because come on, like you're essentially like super powered, you feel so fragile, like
Yeah.
scared and meek, just walking, trying to get back, to the streets that you used to rule. Um, I was also quite slow getting into it, not gonna lie. Like I think I had a similar experience where I got it for €10, maybe a few weeks before patch 2.0, and the main reason I picked it up was that it had the cardboard sleeve and like the postcards. And I just saw someone selling it for €10, and I'm like, you know what? Like for a tenner, like yourself, love The Witcher. Um, So I'm like, look, I'll just pick it up and maybe just make my own opinion on it because I've heard that it had some patches prior to that. And also, if you got the PS4 version of the game, which is what I got, you get the free PS5 upgrade. So I'm like, look, for 10 quid, like, come on. And then it was just rather fortunate that uh, by the time I got around to playing it, maybe like a month later, it was hot off the heels of 2.0, like the big
Mhm.
patch, like the big game fixing one. Um, and I think the moment it got me was, first of all, I loved like the aesthetic of like your apartment. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
this feels like really like lived in, but it was just that sequence with the what was it like? You're lying in bed with one of them, like I forget the terms because it's been already like a few years since I played it. Um, and it's like kind of there's like a vignette and it zooms in on her face and you're just like having a conversation, but the camera doesn't break away from her.
Mhm.
Um, and it was just so atmospheric and just the
Mhm.
facial expressions and everything just really sold. It felt like a Blade Runner movie, you know, like in the best way
Mhm.
possible. And it was from that moment on that that's when it got me weirdly, was
Yeah.
just the way they framed those conversations. And I'm like, okay, all the mechanical and technical shite that happened before, you could tell that the bones of it were like in the right place in a
Yes.
way in
Yeah.
terms of like story, atmosphere, and setting, and kind of like intention. But I also
Yeah.
think the endings for me, um, I would have liked just a little bit more. But they're all quite bleak. But that's Night City, though I suppose in it.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
I really
ultimately,
liked Keanu Reeves in it. I thought he was a just he was
it suited him.
it really did. Yeah, he would like he's always a bit cheesy and stuff, but like it just suited him and he suited the game and he didn't feel out of place at all, I
Like when
thought.
you're on stage from Silverhand's perspective, I thought that was so cool because I was going up to the drummer, just go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I played as a female V, so I think that kind of for me that kind of added like a different I was thinking about it. If I'd played as a guy, like there would have been like less of a disconnect maybe between Johnny and V, but the
Yeah.
fact that I was a girl kind of was like this extra added element of like, this is, I'm Johnny, but I'm also V, there's like, it's more of a clear distinction between the two. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm happy. I'm happy to have the plot done. And
You're
I
gonna go
hear the DLC is good. I hear Idris Elba is
you're gonna go
excellent in
for
that.
it. Yeah, gonna go for the DLC, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, I'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, not too bad. Well, we're actually both very hot off platinums.
Yeah.
We've both got a new one in our collection in the last like 12 hours at the time of recording. So you got Cyberpunk this morning and I got Oblivion last night.
Well
Um
done.
Very, very straightforward trophy list, really. But then again,
Yeah,
mechanically, Oblivion at this point, you could argue is a very straightforward game, but there's still
sure.
so much to it. I've forgotten how like I don't know. I got quite engrossed in it again. Not going to
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
Like the atmosphere of it, and just walking around with a Dorian fan. Just seeing the world, just me and a Dorian fan, just cruising along. Um, like I did have one little snag though, where it's my own fault for not really paying attention to guides, but it was the Thieves Guild, the Ultimate Heist quest,
Yeah,
the Elder Scroll. I wasn't able to sit down. Like if you know the quest, you know you're in the Imperial Palace and like there's
yeah,
blind monks and you just sit in the chair. I wasn't able to sit on it, and then I got discovered, and the quest marker told me to like leave. So I just
yeah.
kind of followed it, and without thinking, before I knew it, I was outside the palace, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't get back in because I went to Grey Fox, and he was like, "You ain't got the Elder Scroll. Like, what are you doing here?" And then I'm like, well, what? But the marker's telling me to come here. And then I was like trying to get like banging on the door of the palace, going, I forgot something. I try to go back in the sewers, and then that's
Yeah.
when I realized I really goofed up because it's a quite a famous sort of hard lock,
Yeah, but
essentially.
It's really easy though, because I remember thinking that exact same thing when I was in that room with the monks, because it's not well labeled what you have to do in that room, because it's such an unusual mechanic for the game to have to sit down to be presented something. Like that's
Mhm.
like I don't think that happens at any other point in the game nearly,
Yeah,
except
yeah,
maybe in the DLC. But like it's just a strange kind of thing to think you have to do. So
yeah.
if
It
you're
wasn't
not
my
paying
instinct.
attention, it's
It
very
wasn't.
easy to miss that. Yeah.
So I was saying to you before as well, that I was relatively, you know, playing it safe when it comes to an Elder Scrolls game or any kind of Bethesda game. You create manual saves every so often because stuff can just go haywire in those games.
Hmm.
And for some reason, I didn't make like a manual save in like 8 or 9 or 10 hours or something. So I was like, oh, I've to essentially do a run through of all the Thieves Guild again. But it ended up being not as bad as I thought because I kind of at that point I knew where to rob to get the fence up to the 1,000 gold just immediately.
Yeah.
So I did need to do a quest, go fence some more, do another quest because that's just the way I was kind of doing it. I was taking my time with the game in fairness, because it's a nice one to have on the list, kind of like a classic game.
Sure.
Uh, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was slightly annoying having to go back over it, but I end up getting it, and now my account is like I only have 16 unearned trophies. I think nine of which I can't get or unobtainable. I think it's nine
Wow.
because of FIFA 10.
That's
So this is
crazy.
the closest point my account is being to being like completed or as much as it can be.
Yeah.
Because I think I've been hovering with over like 100 to 150 unearned trophies fairly consistently because anytime I kind of knock out like a few plats, like I'd add a game or two, and I will be
Yeah.
adding Snake Eater Delta
Cool.
um probably in the next week or so. But I'm fairly happy to just have 16 unearned, 99.80 completion ratio. I don't think it can get much better than that.
Wow.
um
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. I have something like 1,400 unowned trophies. And I sometimes go through it and like I'd love to get it below 1,000.
mhm.
But so many of mine are PS3 DLC stuff that's really inaccessible now. And like also even having to go on to the PS3 now feels so archaic.
Yeah,
It's
like look,
really,
I've a
really
lot
tough.
of the DLC. I can
Yeah.
install it on mine and you can sign in. Come over. We're gonna have a PS3 event, especially stuff like Dead Nation or whatever, because I've all that DLC. So just
Yeah,
pop
that's a
over,
good
like,
call, actually. Dead Nation. I remember playing that with you, probably like 15 years ago.
yeah, yeah, dude, it's probably like,
It's
um,
insane. Yeah, I'd love to do the Fallout New Vegas DLC, because I think there's loads of easy, kind of quick DLC packs there, but I think they expect something like 40 quid or something for all of
yeah, the
those.
price and like, look, as I said, I think I have the Game of the Year edition of like Arkham City and stuff.
Yeah,
The BioShock um DLC is very doable. Like a lot of the BioShock Infinite as well. Like a lot of those PS3 ones, legitimately in like a weekend, you could get most of them done because PS3 DLC, unless you're counting Undead Nightmare, a lot of it was very, very basic or wasn't like something
sure.
like Phantom Liberty. It was normally just a few extra missions, or in Arkham City's case, reskin, here's Robin, do the same challenges again, but there's not that many compared to Arkham Knight.
Yes, yeah.
So you could,
I did
yeah.
one DLC pack, I think, of that game, but uh yeah, it's been so long since I even hooked up my PS3. Um and I have a cool like a cool high-end aftermarket controller that I picked up for like
Mm,
nothing. I got these kind of um these really strange NBA controllers or something. I think they're I can't remember even what I think they're like Mad Cats or something like that
Mhm.
controllers. And they have like weights in them and stuff for the PS3, so you can customize the weight and it has like all these custom buttons on it and stuff and you can swap out the sticks.
That's mad.
Um, I've had them like literally brand new since I bought them. I got them for nothing like when they were I guess throwing them out. But yeah, I must set up the PS3 at some point. But yeah, and you finished. I had a quick look, and I saw that you finished Silent Hill 2 fairly recently as well.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it was my own fault for not really well, I did follow a guide, um, and then I missed like I think one of each collectible. And I don't know, because normally I'm a text guy. I prefer just kind of quickly glancing as opposed
Yeah,
to, like
pause, unpause. Yeah,
unless it's a game I can really kind of follow where I don't need to pause and just sort of I'm going between the two screens where like a madman just like um
yeah, yeah,
so I would put it down to my own stupidity or quickly glancing and just, skipping a paragraph, when you're kind of just rapid fire reading.
yeah.
Um so I was kind of like, oh, I need to do another playthrough. But then I followed Optinoob's guide, and we'll probably make a video about Optinoob at some point. 'Cause
Our
what
Lord
a
and Savior.
legend! What a legend! It was such a perfect guide. It was unbelievable, and it was catered towards you playing it in New Game Plus as well.
Sure.
Commentary as well,
Yes.
fantastic throughout the
I don't know
video.
how he does it. Like he just
Yeah,
his guides are so good, and
because
they're
his
just
guide almost functions as like a podcast, a text guide, and a video guide.
yeah,
Because you rarely need to look at the video because he's actually describing it really succinctly, really clearly where you need to go. So
yeah,
it's not like typical video guides, where they're either just going, yeah, this level's pretty cool. And it's
yeah,
fine. So you need to actually look,
yeah,
and it's engaging and it's well edited and just the time it must take. So he
yeah.
got me that platinum more so than I got me that platinum.
He's gotten me many a platinum as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So and I'm also just glad to get it done as well.
yes,
Because I had no issues with the endings. They were easy for me. Um,
yeah.
but it was just those damn collectibles. Those damn collectibles.
The
Uh
last thing I'll say about Optinoob is sometimes when I follow one of his guides, he will say something like, "Oh, don't worry about that," or just walk over this item, or skip this, and I'm like, "No, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I surely need this," and then it all makes perfect sense. It's like following a Lego building instruction where you're like, I don't think that piece needs to go here, but like eventually it all comes together
yeah, and then at
perfectly.
the end you're like, I'm so sorry for ever
Yeah.
doubting you. Like
Yeah.
I'm putty in your hands. I am putty in your hands, Abdanoob. Just say nothing. So yeah, I think that it'll be Snake Eater Delta will be my next kind of big
Very
game.
nice. Very nice.
Because uh you told me that it was on sale. So I think it was in the last video we are talking about like my kind of plan where I'm like, oh, 100 quid. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, I don't know. And you just text me out of the blue saying that it's on sale in Smith's. So Smith's toy store, it's so much more mature than it sounds, trust me. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the last stronghold of
It
physical
is.
media
Yeah.
for
That's all you
gaming
got.
wise in Ireland, really. Like, I mean, Argus is gone, GameStop is gone. Um, Game up north is sort of like holding on in like this
Sure.
weird quasi symbiotic relationship with Sports Direct.
Okay.
So it's getting like you see it in the corner, but I don't know if that's still a thing. So
Yeah.
there's very like so Smith's is really the only place, and I guess Amazon, but like I not really a big Amazon guy, prefer to go to
Yeah.
Smith's. Um,
Same.
but you told me that it was down to €70, so that's a 30% price drop in
Yeah.
like a week and a half or 2 weeks after release. So I'm like, My mad
Crazy.
gambit has paid off, and
Yeah.
but it's a click and collect in Claremorse. Anyone that knows it knows it. Um, and then there was only one other one in the country, and it was in Limerick.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I told you this, but I text you saying, "Oh, I went for a thanks a million."
Yeah.
And with the click and collect, you've essentially 48 hours to drive to that store physically and collect it. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah.
It was about an hour or two later that I realized I'm not able to go.
Oh no.
Um, because I was like, I've my band was playing elsewhere. And I'm like, well, I can't go because I need to be there at a certain time. So I literally don't have time. And then I wouldn't have the car the following day. And then I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, no. So what ended up happening was I text Ray, we both know Ray, and I an hour before I'm like, oh, I finally got Snake Eater, yay, because he's another big Metal Gear guy. And I
Yeah.
told him about the one in Limerick in case he wanted to get, because he also was waiting on a sale, and he's, oh, that's a bit too far for me. And then I
Yeah.
text him just going, oh my God, I'm not able to get it. Like, what an idiot. I just tunnel vision, like Snake Eater Deluxe Edition for 70. I'm going in, lads. So he was so lovely because he said, I'll collect it for you. Because he lives a bit closer. Um, and I'm just like, what a legend. What an absolute legend. So
He is a pure legend. I mean, it kind of looks like Snake as well.
yeah. He's got the beard and the bandana. Weirdly, doesn't really. But so long story shorter, the point of the story is good gaming friends are hard to come by. You gotta appreciate them. But that was he
Yeah,
came in clutch there because I was really thinking, oh my God, like I flew too close to the sun. But
sure.
so he has my copy of the game. So he sent me a picture of it, like with in like a seatbelt in the front seat. And I said to him, like, look, you play it, you plat it first. I think that's the bare minimum you deserve for just, saving me from my own stupidity and collecting it. So he has it currently. So at some point I will get it off him, and I think that'll be uh the next one I play. I played a little bit of it over SharePlay.
Yeah,
Um Not for long the second time because he was going for the Foxhound rank, and between slight latency issues and me not
yeah.
being familiar with the new control scheme, because I was instinctively pressing circle for CQC, but they've moved it to R2.
Okay.
So it was like I was going up and saying, oh, I still got this. And he did nothing. I'm like, what's happening? The guard just turned around and he's like, oh no, need to start the whole area again. But there's like auto saves when you enter each area. So I think
Okay,
Foxhound won't really be too difficult. And it just
sure.
seems weird seeing it in like such high fidelity. That's
Yeah,
the only thing. And like the movement feels a little different, like when you're crawling, instead of being able to just, like rotate really quickly, it's like more realistic where it's kind of like slower.
yeah.
So, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Remake,
Great.
my all-time favorite game, and my gambit of getting it for cheaper, courtesy of having a very good friend that was so kind to collect it. It paid off.
Great. And notably will be your first ever kind of stack.
Yeah,
It's not really a
it's the
stack, but
closest thing. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that constitutes as a stack? Because
n
I've
not
never
really.
double stacked a game.
Yeah.
I was going to play Snake Eater on the Vita, but I just never really got around to it. It was something that I guess I just was playing other games, and I'm just like, ah, sure, like I already have the plat, and I can
Yeah.
just boot it up, on the PS2 or three. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the first like I feel dirty. I feel like, oh
No, it's like Demon Souls, I think, because it's like there's just so much effort gone into it, even though like fundamentally it's the same game. I think it's its own experience. So I think
yeah.
like yeah, it's not the same as like playing the two versions of the same game, which I've done plenty of times.
Yeah, to
Um,
be honest, I don't even really care because
yeah.
it's not something that I've consciously tried to avoid anyway. It's just I've never really double dipped on a game.
Hmm.
Um, Especially if it's like I need to pay for like the same game.
Sure.
Um, yeah, just never really. I like maybe auto pops would be something that I would try to avoid, but then again, I've never had to avoid them because I've never really gone for like the same
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking
I've had
forward
I've
to
had
it.
I've had two semi-auto pops. Um, the online trophies of GTA 5 auto popped for me when I moved from PS3 to
That's
PS4.
fine though, like because some of
Yeah.
those online trophies, like that,
Yeah, I still had to finish the whole like single player again
hmm
myself. And then the other one was some of the trophies popped auto popped in The Last of Us Part 2, the PS5 version. So
hmm
myself and my wife replayed the game, and we finished it, and we had great fun playing it together because she really liked the HBO show and the first game. And then I didn't like transfer the save over, so I got like I played the game fully
hmm
first, and then when I transferred the game over, the rest of the trophies popped. So about like half the trophies auto popped for me in that game. But then I needed to do all the DLC and the additional trophies,
hmm
the no return stuff myself. So I didn't feel too bad about that because
No,
I love
no,
that game.
no. Like I think it's more like for me, it's only if auto pops if like there's 100 like repeated games or if like 200, 300. I think that's when it looks a bit jank, in my
Yeah, yeah.
opinion.
Or the 1 second plats kind of thing.
Yeah, that are like stacked 8 times. Like it's more like the game and also just the sheer quantity, like that,
Yeah,
but like the odd one, especially if it's, like a game, say like level 120 Hawks or online in GTA, like why not? You have kind of technically done the work, and if you're just upgrading to like the PS5 version, like why
yeah,
not, to carry over your same character or whatever.
sure. There was a
Um,
time in my trophy hunting career where I almost auto popped all of the sound shapes versions. Um, there's like a
Ooh.
PS3 and a
Going to
Vita
dark
one and
side.
stuff.
Is
Yeah,
that
I was really close. I think I made my mind up one day because
I'm
I,
gonna do it.
yeah, I don't know what I got really into like getting more plats that year or something, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just auto pop sound shapes because so many people do that. And then I was like loading up the Vita, and I was like, I don't want to do it.
Was it like, the plaid angel coming down, just going,
Yeah.
do it, don't
Don't,
do it.
you'll regret it.
You'll smutty your account by doing that. Like,
So yeah, I didn't anyway. So, but I can understand the appeal. Um, and yeah, and my Horizon, I'm getting Ghost of Yotei this week, so I'm looking forward to
nice,
that. I was
nice.
kind of I was kind of eager to finish up Cyberpunk so I could start Ghost of Yotei.
hmm
Um, and I have been not critical, but I have been maybe lukewarm about Ghost of Tsushima over the years. Like I thought
hmm
it was a great game, but it wasn't like an amazing game. Um, but me and you, I think we had an absolute blast playing the multiplayer and
The
the
Legends
raid
was,
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
Legends
yeah.
was an
Like it's a
absolute
shame.
blast.
I would love to do more of that with you. Like actually, because that was perfectly suited. And we were both locked in for that as well.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah, it
was
was great fun.
challenging. Like I liked that. The combat really began to shine. I thought when
It
there was a
did.
bit more pressure and a bit more aggressive enemies, and you needed to kind of coordinate and stuff. I actually
Yeah.
really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and that's coming out for Ghost of Yotei as well in the new year. I think they're bringing out Legends mode. So everything I've seen of Ghost of Yotei has been exactly what I expected. Just like a slightly upgraded version of Ghost of Tsushima, which is
hmm
exactly kind of what I'm looking forward to. And I don't know if you've ever seen Blue Eye Samurai, but the story just looks so similar to Blue Eye Samurai, and I
hmm
adore Blue Eye Samurai. So when I see a badass, Onryo female samurai just go on a revenge quest, I'm like, yeah, no, this is exactly
I
what I'm
mean,
about, you know.
yeah, no, like I'd say I'm still probably going to be doing my retro thing with the PS2 because I've that kind of setup at
Yeah.
this point. And Snake Eater and maybe Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 if I can find the will. Um that could be like a nice kind of chapter close on the account to get it as close to being like finished as possible.
Yeah.
And then I would say like depending on sales now, because there's still like don't get me wrong, there's still quite a few PS5 games that I want to play. Like Silent Hill F looks right up my alley. As a
Yeah.
long-time Silent Hill fan, so to play like a new entry in the series, would be great. And also like it's been very well reviewed. I still want to play Infinite Wealth, Yakuza Infinite
Mm-hmm.
Wealth, or like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, because I actually really enjoyed the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Astrobot is a very basic one, but
Yeah. And I
I'm
have that here as well, so I can.
I really, really want to play that, but it's still like 80 € or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
No, I
just
have the
like,
physical, so you can take
yeah.
that off me.
So I'm still kind of like trepidation by paying that much. Like,
Yeah.
again, I know you have to support these games, but at the
Yeah, yeah.
same
No,
time,
it's a lot for like it's a 15-hour plat, I guess,
yeah,
or 15
yeah,
hour 100% even. So it's you know, it's still fairly pricey and but and it always kind of feels like that game that is going to be free eventually on PlayStation
yeah,
Plus.
yeah. I'm just holding on for that, like
Yeah.
'cause it just has PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Plus Extra written all over it.
Yeah.
But unless they're going for it to be the franchise player in
Maybe. Yeah.
Sony's crying, like they want to keep the IP looking valuable and like prestigious.
True.
I don't know, but it's just it hasn't been on sale. If it was 45 or 50, 100% I would have gone for it already, but it's just that higher end. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't know. So those would be the games that I'd be keeping a keen eye out for, and I probably will get Ghost of Yotai as well. Like because I think we had
Yeah. We'll have to play that together.
yeah, just for the Legends mode, but like I think we had a very similar opinion of the original of Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
like an excellent 7 or 8 out of 10, but I wouldn't put it in that upper echelon of games. That doesn't mean it's bad or anything.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the Legends mode kind of showed a different side of it that was like, okay, this works for me.
Yeah.
That kind of team-based samurai raid.
Yeah, it was like for me it's like Horizon, Zero Dawn, Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
Uncharted, and then Last of Us. That's where I rank them.
Yeah, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima almost like it's kind of like okay, if we're making a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
it's it's sort of like I'd put it at like a little tier above Days Gone in terms
Yeah.
of just polish because it's so
Yes.
polished.
Oh, it
And
really
then
is.
you've got like the real, like the super, super polished. So it's like, as I said, like it's like a B plus or like, like an A
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can get
Yeah, yeah.
lost in the weeds of such nonsense, but it's still a very good game. But
It's a great game to throw on a like a 4K TV with HDR. It's like literally the perfect game for that. And so Ghost of Yotai is gonna look absolutely amazing.
okay, well that's what we're going to be playing. So let us know what you've been playing, and I'm going to go and wait on Astrobot going on sale.
And I'm going to send you Astrobot.
Hey!
Platchums